what do you see? You probably see that I'm a woman in college. I like to think that I'm somewhat fit and put together. But you may be thinking that I'm someone who's supposed to be in the prime of her life, living up the college experience. But the truth is that I am chronically ill. I have a sleep disorder called idiopathic hypersomnia, a chronic pain disorder called fibromyalgia, and chronic migraines, all of which can be somewhat treated but not cured. And that's your cue to awkwardly cringe and change the subject to avoid the conversation. But why is that? It's because no one is talking about chronic invisible illnesses, especially in young adults. My chronic health conditions developed when I was 19 years old during my first and second years of college. I spent my 21st birthday and my spring break at the Mayo Clinic, just trying to get diagnosed. I'm telling you this because my situation is not unique. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, out of the 707,000 students enrolled in a degree-granting institution with a disability, 11% have a chronic health condition. And that only includes the students who actually chose to report it. Beyond just college students, 23.5 million Americans have an autoimmune disease. 3 million have an inflammatory bowel disease. 4 million have fibromyalgia, and 3 million have chronic migraines. And these are only a few examples. There are so many more chronic invisible illnesses. To give you a better idea of what these statistics look like, I took them and applied it to this room of about 350 people. So in this room, there are about 26 people who have an autoimmune disease, 3 who have an inflammatory bowel disease, 5 who have fibromyalgia, and 3 who have chronic migraines. Let that sink in. That's a lot of people. I tell you all these numbers to make a point that having a chronic illness is common. You probably have multiple friends that have one, whether you know about it or not. So why is it so uncomfortable to talk about? I'm going to let you in on a little secret that most healthy people don't know. One of the hardest parts about living with a chronic illness is telling other people about it. People often doubt my diagnosis because of this stigma that looking young and healthy means that you are healthy. People don't understand that chronic illness can be invisible or the toll it takes. So to help you understand the physical effects, a woman named Christine Miserandino created a metaphor called the spoon theory. In the spoon theory, each spoon represents an arbitrary unit of energy used to carry out daily tasks. So healthy people may have dozens of spoons, where we only get 6. Now, think about what you do in a day while I go through my college day. So yesterday, I woke up, brushed my teeth, washed my face, put on some clothes, went to the fridge, grabbed a yogurt, and ran to class. -1 spoon. Then I sat in class and paid attention and took notes. Another spoon. And then I went to my next class and still had to pay attention and take notes. 1 more spoon. Then I went to the dining hall and got lunch and started my homework. 1 more spoon. Now I'm halfway through my day and I only have 2 spoons left. So now I get to decide if I want to go work out or go study for that test tomorrow or go to that club meeting. When I run out of spoons, I'm exhausted and hurting, and I don't get to buy more spoons. Sometimes I can take spoons from the next day, but that means tomorrow I'll start with less spoons. The number of spoons you start with depends on the person, and it varies from day to day. But either way, spoons are limited. The purpose of this metaphor is to help you understand that the difference between being healthy and chronically ill is having to make difficult decisions. We have to meticulously plan and work to save spoons so that we can feel the very best we can. So if someone who's chronically ill, also known as a spoonie, tells you that they can't make it to that party or go to that lunch you had planned, it's not because they don't want to, it's because they have to make difficult choices to feel okay. So now what? What do you do with that information? Because having a chronic health condition is so common, you're probably going to have somebody tell you that they have one. This obviously has come up in conversation with me, and I can tell you from personal experience that people do not know how to respond in a helpful way. So I'm going to teach you. Let's start with what not to say. First off, please don't randomly change the subject. If I tell you that I have fibromyalgia, don't randomly start talking about that delicious spaghetti you had for dinner last night. It's pretty obvious that you're trying to change the conversation, and it makes me feel like a freak of nature. Second off, please don't give me unsolicited medical advice, like, you should drink more water, or have you tried getting enough sleep at night? Like most people with a health condition, I have spent weeks of my life at doctor's offices, thousands of dollars in medical bills, and tried every single treatment approved by the FDA. I'm pretty sure if the answer was to drink more water, the doctors and I would have figured it out by now. Now, enough about what not to say. Here's what you should say. So I've collaborated with people in a Facebook support group and come up with a 3-step plan on how to respond when somebody tells you that they're chronically ill. So here's the scenario. You are my new work colleague. You ask me if I want to go get dinner with you after work. I say, I'm sorry, I can't. I actually have idiopathic hypersomnia, which makes me really tired, so I have to go home. Step 1, show that you believe me by saying, wow, I didn't know that you dealt with that, but you're doing great. Step 2, show that you want to learn more by saying, what's it called again? I'm going to write that down so I can Google it later. Step 3, continue the conversation. Not too difficult, right? If someone responded to me like that, I would seriously cry out of relief. No joke. When you respond like that, you're letting me know that you believe me, that you care to learn more about the disease, but most importantly, that I'm just another person. Telling someone that you have a chronic illness is scary. It makes me vulnerable to discrimination and criticism. But with that 3-step plan, you have the power to make talking about chronic illness not scary anymore. Now, what should you do if you have a really good friend that has a chronic illness? I'm here to tell you that all you have to do is be a good friend and see how you can help them out on occasion. When my friends do things for me like wash the dishes or take out the trash or grab me a coffee, what they're actually doing is empowering me. They're showing me that I have the support I need to achieve the dreams I had before my illnesses developed. They're showing me that they understand that chronic illness significantly affects my life, but it doesn't define who I am. Now, since I've talked to all the healthy people in the room, I quickly want to talk to all my spoonies out there, because I know you're in the audience. Living with a chronic illness is isolating. You're forced to live in pain and grieve the life you had before it developed. But don't give up. Connect with other people in any way you can. Find support groups. They're on Facebook, Instagram. Find blogs, books, anything, because you do not have to fight alone. If you're not a spoonie, be a friend to someone who is. Believe them and ask how the illness impacts their life. Make talking about chronic illness easy and comfortable. But most importantly, see how you can help them save a spoon. Thank you.